Wednesday, Mommypreneurs. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. It wasn't that sunny. Well, it was sunny today, but started to feel like fall for sure. And we are definitely excited to have you here and joining us today. So please do me a favor. This is your first time. In the comments, put hashtag first timer. We love to have our first timers. And if you are a regular person who comes back, we love that too. Just put back in the comments where you are joining us from. We want to know where you're from. We like to highlight our listeners on the page and our viewers all the time, so definitely do. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. All right. So today I'm super excited because, I'm all big about making sure I insure my investment. And in business, ladies, we need to make sure that we are secure and insured. So our topic for today is going to be how to make sure you are insured both in business and mommyhood, which is so important because if we're not insured, if something happens, you're not insured, it's like, forget about it, right? You got to make sure you're planning ahead as a business owner and as a mother. You need to protect all assets. And so that's definitely something we're going to talk about today. But before we jump into it, we are going to make sure we pay the bills and keep the lights on. So let's talk about one of our sponsors. Our sponsor is Naire by Naure, and it is a candle called Power Moves. Power Moves is a beautiful smelling candle, and I light this candle every Monday. I call it my Money Mondays because it's Power Moves. You like to make power moves out there in the business world. This candle, not only does it smell good, it just really relaxes you and makes me focus. So what I have been able to do for my viewers every time is that you're able to use my code Melissa Jakes and you get to save some money off your purchase no matter how many candles you buy. There's also roller bars there, diffusers. There's so many things on the website. So go to naurebynaire.com and utilize the code and Melissa Jakes, and it will save you some money off. Every time you purchase, make sure you use that because you can save some coins. All right. So we're going to get into our guests. So I'm going to introduce her. Her name is Ahn. She owns and operates 2 State Farm offices in Annandale and in Alexandria, Virginia, where it serves a multicultural community in Maryland and DC. Their insurance form exists to help everyone thrive through comprehensive planning and execution to reach their dreams and their goals. They focus on creating a culture of caring, investing in local communities, and connecting with those they serve. In April of 1992, Ahn's family successfully migrated to the United States of America from Vietnamese from their refugee camp in Thailand. They escaped Vietnamese in 1989 and took a look for a brighter future in the United States. And in 2007, as a college student, Ahn was recruited by a former manager who worked at the State Farm office in Vienna, Virginia. And in 2009, Ahn opened her doors on her own State Farm office in Old Town Alexandria as the youngest agent ever to operate in the DMV area. Now that is boss moves. With the passion of people, Ahn has always enjoyed speaking to community groups, topics ranging from buying your first home, budgeting for financial success, and planning for retirement. She believes that there are many people at disadvantages from finances that is not taught in school, which we really don't have that talk much in school, as a minority, and they're able to learn with the financial systems in America herself. She wants to save people time by sharing all that she has learned throughout her 13-year career in insurance and financial services. Ultimately, she sees her friends, family, customers, and partners all thrive in every stage of their life. If she can have somehow provide a resource of knowledge or support for them through the journey, she is willing and happy to help. You guys, please welcome my guest, Ahn.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Melissa. This is cool. This is my first mommypreneur.
Yeah.
So hashtag first time.
Hashtag first timer. So yes. And I mean, that's amazing that you have not only one, but two locations. And being the youngest in the DMV, I think I didn't know about that. Like, that's totally cool.
Well, when I was started, now I'm not that young anymore.
Yeah. Right. Right. But so tell us, what type of insurance are available for moms in business out there?
So, I mean, there are a lot, but if you
Mhm.
want to just start from the basic, there's property insurance, right? Everybody has some type of need for, even if they don't own a home, if they rent, there's some type of home type of insurance through renters, homeowners, condo, all of that. Automobile, everybody knows that. But for like business owners, if you own a business, depending on if you have staff or if you're a one-man shop, sometimes you might have a contract where it requires you to get a general liability. Sometimes they call it
Mhm.
GL
Yeah.
insurance, but general liability policy. So from a business standpoint, and then if you have staff by the state of most states, if you have three or more, regardless if they're part-time or
Mhm.
full-time, you'll need a workers' compensation policy if they work for you. And it doesn't matter if you pay them as a 1099 or a W-2. If they work for you, meaning you maintain their schedule and you can control when they work and how they work, then they are your employee. So,
So that's
mhm,
interesting. I'm glad you said that because
mhm,
I definitely do 1099. So
mhm.
what if they're not on a regular schedule? Like, if even if, let's say, they don't work 40 hours, they don't even work 20, let's say, like for events, right? I might get some people, it might be a long weekend and maybe it was like 13 hours or so, that I should still have general liability regardless.
Yeah, so general liability is for your business,
Yeah.
so whether you work out of a home or you have an office, that's normal. But for workers' compensation,
Hmm.
when they determine if they're your employee, they have to establish if there's an employee or employer relationship. So based on what you're saying, you have events and you schedule it with them, but they're contracting with you and
Right.
they're agreeing to it. It's different when, let's say somebody owns a salon. So this happens a lot in the nail salon and hair salon industry, where they're like, well, they're all independent contractors, they're 1099. But then the salon owner schedules when they come into work, what clients they
Mhm.
have and stuff. That's an employer employee relationship. And they can, if they can prove that, then you might get in trouble if they're not covered under workers' compensation.
Mhm.
But if like they have a chair at your place, they schedule their own clients, they can come and go as they please, that's fine. So in your situation, I would say as long as your contract with them is very clear that there's no relationship when they sign on to be your subcontractor, they're
Mhm.
doing it at their own free will, at their availability, then I think you're okay. But
Okay.
those people that do the admin work for you, that set up like these shows or do that, if you have more than two or three, at least you have more than three admin person that actually works for you, even if you contract them, but they're kind of like going, you get to tell them what to do, sort
Yeah.
of thing, then
Yeah.
you might need to have workers' compensation.
So that's again, that's good. I think because of course, right, we're mommies or we're preneurs and we're doing this thing. Some people are working out of their homes. So if they have an admin person that maybe do 20 hours a week,
Hmm.
if they have somebody who works, maybe take the phone calls and they're doing 20 hours a week, they should have workman's comp insurance.
Yeah, so I mean, you can, if you have less than three people, you don't have to have it, but you
Gotcha.
should whenever you have employees, because what it protects you from is somebody suing you,
Yeah.
regardless if they're part-time or full-time. Workers' compensation, some people, to not confuse it with general liability. General liability can include your stuff that you have for your business, so business property. It can
Yeah.
include if you, let's say, meet with a client and then they trip and fell over your stuff, that's liability that will pay
Mhm.
out. But workers' compensation is based on the salary that you pay for workers in your business,
Mhm.
and the pricing is based on the compensation. But they could sue you for liability if they get hurt on the job. So
Gotcha.
that's what workers' compensation is.
Gotcha. Okay. That is good. And another thing that I thought of is event insurance. Do you
Mhm.
guys do event insurance for those who are event planners, or they do these pop-up shops? A lot of moms are doing
Mhm.
pop-up shops now, and that's an event. And I
Mhm.
know from traditionally from doing some events, we need to have day of insurance. But what
Mhm.
what type of offerings do you have with that?
So you can do two things typically. If
Hmm.
you have a year-round business, like you're an event planner, but you have a pretty year-round business, depending on whatever season it is, you probably have you have a general liability
Uh-huh.
policy, right?
Yeah.
So if you have that, that policy should cover the events that you do. So,
Okay.
but for people who don't have that policy, then they can get a special event insurance, for the particular event that they're doing. And there's not a lot of insurance companies that want like people going in and out. So there's
Yeah.
going to be like online. So I have some nonprofits that I've worked with in the past where they, they'll have like these special events, but they're not big enough to have a general liability policy.
Yeah.
Then they'll go online and just search a special event insurance. I think there's a website called Special Event Insurance,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they charge maybe $200 for the event or something like that, and you can
Yeah.
get that. But for a general, like a company like myself or other insurance companies, they don't want you to have like just in and out, coverage. So they want a year round general liability that could cover your events if your business is something that could be insured. So
Okay.
hopefully that answers your question. But
Yeah.
that's from the business side. And then there's also like disability insurance and
Mhm.
life insurance. So, or supplemental health insurance. So, business owners, if you do not have another job that is full time that offers you the benefits,
Yeah.
like a 9 to 5 person, when we went and worked, we decided to work on our own or go
Yeah.
part-time to have our own business. We kind of we let go of those company benefits that these corporations would give us. So we have to be in charge of that, which means our life insurance, we have to look at that. So State Farm has great policies for that. Disability insurance, that's something they have to look at. And supplemental health is like if you want, for expenses that you don't think about and you get hospitalized, so it can help supplement your health insurance. And then, of course, medical insurance because
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
um, have your own. And if you have a business with multiple employees, then you can get medical insurance. And we have someone in our networking group that can help
Yeah.
somebody that
Yeah.
has two or more employees of the company that are eligible and full time.
Yes.
So,
That's definitely good to know. So entrepreneurs, if you don't have, of course, we don't have those benefits of having something like AFLAC to cover you if you have those medical emergencies and whatnot. State Farm has you, and so that's something that you should definitely look into to cover yourself because we decided, like you said, to take that venture and work for ourselves, but we need to
mhm,
also protect ourselves as mothers
mhm.
and making sure that we're covered when we have those incidents that we don't foresee happening. Of course, we don't want it to happen, but they do happen.
Yeah. Better to be prepared than sorry that you didn't have anything in place. But then the last thing for entrepreneurs, outside of benefits, you have to have your own financial plan. So whether it is you want to do a SEP IRA, self-employed pension, or
Mhm.
you have employees, so you decide to do a simple IRA or 401k or an individual 401k, you actually have access to that too. We help people plan for that as well. But there's so many different resources and people that can help with those things. But those are all things that mompreneurs have to think about, for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yes, that's awesome. Definitely awesome. So as a mom, how do you manage your business? You have two locations. So how do you
Mhm.
manage that and family life?
So I'm fortunate right now. I have 9 employees, between the two locations. A lot of them are working from home because of COVID.
Hmm.
So I only actually, my Annandale location is the only one that's open to the public. We have plexiglass and all of that, wear masks just to be safe. But I'm fortunate that I have a really good team. They all care. They want to do a good job. I've trained them on resources and everything. So it really allows me to be the CEO of the company versus having to be in the trench. I mean, there are some times, because I've been doing it for 13 years, they don't know what to do. Then they'll message me. We have like constant communication throughout the day. We have huddles, so we know what's going on. So that's how I manage it. Is I have a daily huddle with my teams. Each office, we do it individually. We have a weekly team meeting where we kind of all meet together. I do training. I go over stats and numbers outside of the daily huddle, which we already talk about, but we go through looking at reports and how we've done. That's really been helpful. So I literally, it's been a goal of mine, and I think I finally achieved it, being able to be the CEO of my company and just work on training, hiring, and then working with other business owners and or high net worth individuals, or helping people build their net worth. That's what I enjoy doing, and being a resource. So that's what I focus on. So it allows me to balance and spend time with my daughter.
Yes, that's amazing. Keywords that I heard is definitely training staff up so that you're able to let go and not be in the trenches, but to be above the trenches, so that your staff can do. And so that's something, as people are growing and scaling their business, learning that the way to really grow is investing into those to help you in your business so that you're able to step back. Because we all need some type of vacation sometimes.
Yeah, live with balance.
Live with balance.
You need a vacation, Melissa. You work
I
hard.
know. I have
everything.
I have not taken a vacation in 2020 at all. COVID definitely messed that up for sure. But yes, I definitely need to at least schedule a staycation, if anything.
Yes.
So from an insurance perspective, what is some advice you could give moms, homeowners, or business owners of just like, most people are like, okay, yeah, I get it. Insurance. We always hear the insurance thing. But what advice could you really say to really get somebody to understand this is very important and why you need it?
That's a great question. So I know insurance is not sexy. People hate talking about insurance. It's like, oh my God. It's like, for some people, they think it's a necessary evil, right? Some people view it like that. I think insurance can actually be really fun, if you understand the purposes behind it and make sure that you, when you're going over it, you have a clear understanding of all the policies that you have. So my advice is do a frequent review. I have had so many times where I'll talk to someone and they have no idea if they have an umbrella policy. That's something else, in place to make sure all of their assets are protected. They don't know that their limits are not correct. Maybe they're overpaying because they have a very old car that has, collision coverage that doesn't need it. Or they're underinsured because they didn't tell us about the addition on their house, or the upgrades they've made. So there's many situations, or they got a promotion and a job raise, or they're making a lot more money, now than they did when they were working 9 to 5. Some, business owners actually have a very high income potential. So they have to frequently check on that. When it comes to life insurance, some people buy a policy and they're like, okay, they buy it and then they're done. But that's not how life works, right? You might have, when you bought it, you bought your first house and it was cheaper than the second or third house that you bought. Or you have 3 kids instead of the one that you thought you were going to be done with.
Right.
There's so many different changes. So reviewing all of your policies and working with someone that you trust is really important, because if you cannot be open with your insurance agent on your income, your finances and stuff like that, they cannot help you thoroughly, because it literally would be more like a cookie cutter job versus an actual customized plan for your needs. And then the other thing I would say is, as business owners, your business could be your risk, so a lot of times I notice that business owners don't tend to invest their money in the markets a lot, because they're like, well, where am I going to get it from? So consistency in financial planning is important. So whether it is 200 a month, 500 or 3,000 a month that you can put away into a plan in different buckets, it's going to help you in the long run. And figuring out what that bucket is made of is important to trust that advisor that you're working with. And that consistency will help you in the future. So it's not like when you're in your 50s, you're like, what did I do for the last, 10
Right.
years or so
Right.
of my planning? Because you're working hard. You got to make sure that you have seed money for the future.
Absolutely. And so you said something very important is reviewing your plan. How often should we review our plan? Every year, like an annual checkup?
So I would say for an insurance plan, at least once every 2 to 3 years,
Okay.
right? So like, because unless you've made a major change, got married, bought a bigger property, have another kid,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that may, like, whenever those life events happen, then you would review it at the life events. When
Okay.
it happens, it's a good time to review. Other than that, I would say that for financial, it could be, every 6 months to a year, depending on how much movement you want to do, like how involved you want the plan, but at least once a year, I would say, for your financial plan.
Okay. That's good to know. What are some of your favorite business apps that you like to use?
So in my business, I mean, I'm very simple. So I, well, I mean, we have to use the apps that the company,
Yeah.
has through State Farm. They're a large corporation, so there's a bunch of stuff that they have. But for my personal use, I mean, I use Google Drive. It's real
Mhm.
easy, Sheets and Drive, to
Yeah.
hold documents and templates. But I would say, like, if you're looking for a financial app, Expensify is a really good app, like for people doing their own bookkeeping and accounting. So I had an agent friend that brought me over to that, and he does it all himself. I actually hire professional help because it's way too much for me. But back then, when I was doing it, you can take pictures of your receipts and it uploads it for you. You enter it in through the app, and everything is real seamless. And creates like the bookkeeping for you. So Expensify for those do-it-yourselfers. Maybe your business is not large enough that you would want to pay a bookkeeper or an
Yeah.
accountant. I would say that's good. And then for my communication with my team, I know a lot of people use WhatsApp. So I do that for my study groups and, some other teams I'm on. But I
Mhm.
actually use GroupMe. I've been doing it for years. So I create different groups for my team members. They can message me directly, and I like it. It's easy functionality, but that's where we communicate throughout the day, so that we can stay, together. But WhatsApp or any of those applications would
Yeah.
work. But those are the only three or so that I use.
And they're
Mhm.
very important. I like
Mhm.
that Expensify. I'm gonna have to look into that,
Mhm.
especially for those entrepreneurs who are really like really DIY. Doesn't
Mhm.
have a lot, but it can help them save time and
Mhm.
money when it comes to the end of the year of filing your taxes. It's nice
Mhm.
and organized for you. You have all your receipts. You know your
Yep.
expenses in, your expenses out, all of that
Mhm.
stuff. So that's good. Expensify. I like that. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, tell us how we can learn more about you and your business. If somebody's like, I need Ahn in my life, she's about to save me in my business. How can they, how can they reach you?
I love working people that need me. No, working with people that need me. But yes, it's real easy to contact me. I mean, my email is on ANH. You see my name on the screen, on at alwayson.com. So play on words. I'm always on, I'm never off. So on at alwayson.com. That's probably the best way to kind of get in contact if you want more information. And then we can schedule a meeting, a call, maybe just to kind of get to know each other. I love supporting small businesses. So my mom, when she was in Vietnam, we had no money. And she would go around and tell people like, hey, I don't have a lot of money. I don't have any money to buy your inventory. But hey, if you let me sell it and give me 10%, I'll sell your inventory for you. And that's how she built her business to raise us. So she's very entrepreneurial. That's why I have that entrepreneur spirit. I love working with small business owners and I love being a resource.
Mhm.
So if just for anything, any questions, if I don't know it, I kind of usually know someone that knows it. So
Yeah.
I try to be that resource to people. I'm pretty sure Melissa is that too. But I love working with entrepreneurs, and especially when it comes to their insurance and finances. I really think that you need a really good, trusted partner. And I love all the customers I've worked with, in the last 11 and a half years that we've been open for business on our own,
Yeah.
that I've grown with them and seen them through all stages of life. And so if you just want to chat, I'm happy to chat. You don't have to buy anything, or I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just
Right.
chat and get to know each other, and see how I could help you in your business. I see myself as a connector. I love
Yeah.
connecting people,
Yeah.
which I think you are like that too,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's in our spirit.
Right. Like, oh, I think someone could use that,
Yeah,
and yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. You guys, if you don't have anything else to do, one thing you need to do in business is protect yourself. It's so important to make sure you're insured, you're protected, and then just even go over a financial plan. I think, especially for our community, it's minorities are like, financial plan. I don't know. I don't have a lot of money. You know,
Mm.
they always feel like, oh, I don't have a lot of money, so why need a financial plan? You should still have a financial plan, even if you just go to On every 5 years. I know she'll like to see a little bit more, but at least get your feet wet.
Yeah, even $50 a month could go a long way.
Yeah,
It's amazing when I review plans with people. Once they get used to it, you start at 50, and then you go to 100, you go to 150, and then you don't miss that money, because it's the reason why 401ks work so well is
yeah,
because they take money out of your paycheck, so
yeah,
you don't see it. So you just have to recreate that for yourself. And I've been very fortunate that I've seen the growth of people, even when I work with them in their 20s, and now they're in their 30s. I see where they're at now, and they started very small. So everything just takes a little bit, and
yeah.
it'll build. Consistency is key.
Yes. Consistency is key. Well, thank you, On, for coming on with us and giving some great advice. Again, you guys, if you want to reach her, definitely see the ticker below. Follow her on Facebook, on her website, and definitely reach out, because we do not need to be doing business without a plan and security for sure. All right. Thank you, On, for coming on. I will talk to you later.
Thank you, Melissa. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
So you guys, thank you so much for joining. Definitely make sure the key, I do these different topics for a reason. I do this because, one, as mommypreneurs, we always get caught up with, oh, the kids got school, or they're doing something else. Oh, my clients, oh, my this. And we rarely take time to really focus on ourselves. So please make sure if it's not On, it's somebody else, but you got a plan. That's the biggest thing. Make sure you have a plan and you're secure. And so if you guys don't have that, then, I'm coming through this screen and gonna get you. You gotta plan, okay? So you guys, I'm super excited, because all the way up to January, we are booked for all different type of mommypreneurs. And I will be neglected to say that I have a conference coming out. November 15th, we had Money, Mimosas, and Mommypreneurs. We have a conference of 6 dynamic speakers coming to talk to us about different various topics that will help us in business, mommyhood, self-care, which we rarely talk about among ourselves. And if you're a VIP, trust me, you are going to have some really good goodies coming to you. And if you guys know, I do events for a lot of people. This is my first time doing an event for myself. I'm not going to hold back, because I love events and I love to do it big. So definitely make sure you register. It is mommypreneurconference.com. I will put it in the comments. I failed to even get the flyer up. That's bad on me, but definitely make sure you go over to mommypreneurconference2020.com and register for your ticket November 15th at 12 p.m. All right, you guys. So we are going to be heading out. Thank you again for joining us this evening. We will be back next Wednesday on our next topic. Be safe. Please vote and make sure you're staying safe. Thank you, guys. Bye.